Oh, he's only got to read it down.
That jingle there signifying, of course, once again, another reading from the Diary of Karl Pilkington. Now, of course, for those of you who have not been keeping abreast of Karl's medical complaints, just bring us up to speed, Karl. You had to go into hospital because previously you'd had...
I've been in
treatment.
and out, honestly. I've been in and out of that hospital just with kidney problems, really painful and what have you. And
He had kidney stones, all right?
No, but seriously.
I had a bit of a lie-in today because I have to get up early for my operation tomorrow. Not only have I got to have tubes shoved up my knob, but I also have to get up at 5:50. Suzanne said I could have what I want for my last dinner. It's not your last dinner, you're going for an operation.
Yeah, but you can't take things for granted these days.
Oh,
I had shepherd's pie and peas. Suzanne made it from scratch. As nice as it was annoying. Because making stuff from scratch means loads of pots, and it's my job to do the washing up. So much as the food was nice, there was loads of pans and that. People who get their last dinner on death row don't have to wash up. Got up at 5:55. You were supposed to be getting up at 5:50 on the other page. You were 5 minutes late getting up.
He's often late.
Often late. Got to the hospital and had to wait in the waiting room. There was another 9 people in there waiting to be sorted. I got called in. They sat me on a bed and took all my details down. 5 minutes later, I'd been knocked out. I got woke up when they were ripping a pipe out of my throat. I felt more rough this time. The doctor came to see me and said he couldn't find a stone, so I must have passed it. I said, "Are you sure?" He said, "Yeah, we filled your kidney with water and expanded it, and there was no hiding place." I sat in the recovery room for an hour while they found me a bed. One of the fellows who was sat in the room with me this morning got wheeled in. They couldn't wake him up. All the nurses were laughing because he didn't want to wake up. I bet they were laughing at me when I was in the theatre. Someone told me they totally strip you when they're operating. I would have looked like the alien on the Boswell incident.
Boswell! Boswell!
It's quite a nice analogy if it weren't for the fact that you said Boswell.
It's
the Roswell incident. Didn't sleep much through the night because there was a 60-year-old fella shouting at the nurse about his pillows. I don't think I slept through a full hour with one thing or another going on. My bed was next to the toilet, so I kept hearing the flush.
How do they sleep in hospitals, though? They wake you up to give you fucking sleeping pills and things, don't they? How do you sleep in there?
I don't know what it is. There's no air. There was an old fella across from me who kept breaking wind. He didn't even try and cover it. He was just of that age where he didn't care. Just like, that's what I do. I'm in the hospital, leave me alone.
What do you mean?
Just, I don't know what was wrong with him. I talked to him because at first I felt sorry for him. I was a little bit like, you know, he's had no visitors. No one's calling him up, so I'll talk to him. But then he got that familiar with me that he'd just be doing it whilst I'm chatting to him. Just like he's my granddad or something. It's just like, oh, that's what he does. It's like, well, I'm ill as well. Stop doing that. Honestly, unbelievable. He didn't even try and cover it with a cough. It was just like, that's...
With a cough! How would you cover it with a cough?
just non-stop.
Got home and sat down. My pains are coming back, but the doctor said this would happen and that my insides are still in shock, so I need to take it easy. It's 9 o'clock. I'm in agony. I can't do the diary for the rest of the day.
Jesus.
So you may as well just tell us then what happened.
Suzanne just got frustrated with me because I was rolling about on the floor and she was trying to watch Arthur. Right? So that was on the other night.
I thought it was with your lodger.
So,
And she said, look, if you're in pain, do something. She said, you know...
you went and got a cold plate.
Yeah. No, use an ashtray. Plates are for liver damage.
Got in a taxi. He filled up on the way, which was annoying.
He didn't.
That
He
is
did.
cheeky.
That really, I mean, he could
On
see
the
I was
way
in
to the
pain.
hospital.
So,
Because he's not an ambulance driver.
so anyway, he gets us there and he doesn't charge us, which is pretty decent.
Oh, that's all right, yeah.
So this gay fella came through.
How
And,
do you know he was gay?
just the way he was. I'm not having a go. He was a good fella. Do you know what I mean?
A
He-
doctor, you mean?
No, he was he was a nurse.
Right.
And he came through and just sort of went, oh, how are you? And I was like, oh, I've had better days. So he got
As
me
you
on
mentioned in the diary, I remember the first time when I came here, they said the nurse might put a tablet up my arse. I thought the chances of that happening had just increased.
Oh, Carl!
Yeah, but I would have let him do it. Honestly, I was that sort of out of it. That,
Of course you'd let him do it. He's a qualified nurse.
No, but the way I am now, say if it was just a tablet for sorting out my blood pressure, and I walked in there and he went, oh, hello. And he said, yeah, let's pop that. I'd go, hang on a minute. But what I mean is that night, I would have just let him put 3 up, honestly. It's just weird, isn't it? How your body just goes, let them get on with it, and you trust anyone, don't you? When you're in that much pain and you need
And
help.
they're a qualified nurse, yes. Carl, of course, has written a poem about the experience entitled "My Ward."
All I've done here, I've been through I don't know what the word is, a bad experience.
Trauma.
A trauma, yeah. I've been through a load of trauma. So I'm just finishing it off with a little sort of picture for people.
Go on then.
Me, a Chinese fella, and an old bloke who looked like Mr. Burns from The Simpsons. Don't know what was wrong with him, but breaking wind was the symptoms. No one visited him or called him. He seemed quite lost to me. As well as wind problems, he had a colostomy.
Back.
When I left, I said, "See you" to the old man. Turned out the other fella wasn't Chinese. He was from Japan. I never found out what was up with him. You've got a little picture there, haven't you, of me sat in my ward. I'm sat there with that fella who I didn't talk to, the old fella who had wind problems. And that's what a poem is, isn't it?
But the detail about you thought he was Chinese and he turned out to be Japanese, how is that evocative? That's just a piece of misinformation.
It's just
I like it.
I imagine a lot of people making
I
the
like
same
it because
mistake.
you know why? It's like he even makes digressions within his poem.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's like he could have gone back and erased that, but he didn't. He left that digression in, and I think that's great.
It's very honest. Had a late night last night because I stayed up to watch a programme about monkeys.
It's already good.
Of course he did.
It's already good.
Now, before I read on, I mean, is this not some kind of monkey news? Is this not a late return to monkey news?
Well, it's not that good.
Is it not? Whereas the other monkey news is...
Oh, chimpanzee, that's some more shit.
This is what he says. This is what he gleaned from the programme about monkeys. It sat on a bridge and wanted stuff off people to walk over the bridge.
What?
So it was acting as some kind of toll booth,
This
was
is
it?
ridiculous.
No, it was a bridge in like the jungle.
Oh, shut the fuck up.
And it's a monkey that sat on a bridge, and a lot of tourists go through the area.
No, it's a monkey
to look at them.
who realised that if he sits there, he'll get stuff because it look like it's a cute little chimp begging.
No, but every time.
Yeah, because you give a monkey, you give it. I'm as bad as him now. If you give a chimpanzee a banana, and he starts realising that humans have things to give.
Yeah, but it's all
squirrels
sorts of
learn
stuff.
that. But you don't go. You wouldn't say, "Oh, went to the park. The squirrels waiting at the gate." You have to give them a toll to go in. They're only going to give them nuts. They come up to you every time. You fucking idiot.
Went to bed after watching it and fell asleep thinking about it on the bridge right now. It's a bit bad, really, because the monkey should work harder for its food. It made me remember the slug I saw yesterday that was eating bird poo. Nobody would ever help a slug with food like they do with ducks and monkeys. A slug's life is pretty bad. The only time they come out of their den is when it's raining.
Den.
So even their days out are depressing.
It is. Do you know what I mean?
No.
It is like, it's a horrible thing to be, innit? A slug.
I love him talking about what is it like to be a slug.
No, just because like the monkey, even though it's been quite aggressive, everyone was like, "Oh, give it some water," and it was well like kitted out. It had like chocolate bars, bottled water, some like fizzy stuff, and all that.
An iPod, it was listening to Monkey News.
He could have had one if it wanted one. It was getting away with murder on that bridge, and that's just because it was furry. Yeah, if that was like a blob, like a slug, there's no way people would be that friendly towards it. And it just annoys me how you get this pecking order. For like, no matter what creature you are, favouritism. And that slug was only eating that bird poo because it wasn't being offered stuff.
If it was offered toffees or whatever.
Well, it's just sad, isn't it? It's come to that. That's what its life has come to.
Yeah, but it's not. As
was
mollusk
raining, like
that's
I said.
down on its fucking luck.
It didn't live in a big country house and
No,
his
but
wife
it
left
is.
it, the
I
kids
was
went,
wa-
it started
I was
hitting the
watching
bottle.
it, and I kind of thought, and look, they do only come out in the rain, and it's depressing, and it'll probably get killed in a bit, and that was its last meal. I just...
Last meal.
But it
people
wouldn't
don't care.
prefer steak and chips, Carl. It
No, but
doesn't
a leaf,
have...
it must like a leaf or at the end of the day, it's an insect. They love a
It's
leaf.
not an insect.
Well, it's part of that gang. It's part of that. No, it's part of
They
that.
hang out together. They hang out
It's not.
together.
No,
Why do you think it's part of that
because
gang?
it knocks about in the woods in the same place as a spider does. But what I'm saying is they're eating boring stuff because that is what's
It's
in
not
their
boring
area.
stuff to them. They're not. I have no opinion of it at all. They take in sustenance.
No, but where you are is what you eat. When I'm in London, I'll have beans on toast for lunch. On holiday, what? Tapas? Go on, I'll have a bit. So it's whatever you eat, what's in that area.
Suzanne went off to work and I went to the shop to buy some envelopes. The shop was empty, but the fella behind the counter was on the phone and just kept talking even though he could see I was waiting. I started to count backwards from 20. When I got to 6, he hung up and served me. I won't use the shop again. Question, why count backwards from 20?
So he's thinking, what's going to happen at 1? If I start counting from 1, he's going, well, let him carry on.
What, out loud?
So, not really loud, but like more of a mouth action, so he could see who was doing it. Do you know, like
Sorry, you just started miming counting backwards to a man in a shop.
He's on the phone. The
Yes.
shop is empty. I
Yes.
thought he'd like me custom. He could have served me and stay on the phone. Even though I don't like that, at least he's still doing what he needs to do.
I'd have said,
working the
sorry,
shop.
can I just get these, please?
Yeah. Well, I stood there and I thought, it's annoying me now. My kidneys aching and I started to get a bit of a sweat on. So I thought, right, I'm going to give him 20 seconds, and if he hasn't got off the phone, I'm leaving. Again,
You are
giving
one
yourself,
of the strangest people.
It's just giving yourself a thing. I could have been stood there for
Free.
ages.
He's one of the strangest people who's free to walk.
Yeah.
It's
the
about
streets.
No, I set myself a little target and I thought I don't want to waste another 30 seconds in here. I'll give him 20. It worked. He served me at 6.
But it didn't work. Yeah, but did he do it because you were doing that, or did he finish his phone call?
I don't know. I was busy counting.
What happened to Chris Moles' show? Is he not on anymore?
On the TV?
Yeah.
No. Turns out he was too fat and talentless.
Oh,
Do you want to tell us about Hastings?
Where did that come from?
Eh? What?
Yeah, Hastings.
Yeah.
It's all right. Yeah.
What's there?
Not much. It's just one of them
Is there a
places. Yeah, it's got. I think that's what's good about it. Nobody knows, right? Because last weekend it was roasting, and you saw pictures of Brighton, and it was heaving.
Yeah.
Right. Hastings, hardly anyone there, and yeah, it's got a nice little beach.
Yeah.
Sand?
Sandy
No,
beach?
pebbles. Well, that's all right, isn't it? You don't,
no.
you don't want the sand.
Why didn't you want sand? Of course you want
Yeah,
sand.
a little bit, don't it?
It's murder building a sandcastle.
No, you just sit there.
You can't walk on pebbles, can you? It's,
What do you mean?
Well, it's all kind of, it's sort of a bit, dodgy
It's
underfoot.
all right. The only annoying thing is, right, it's one of them places that it's great to visit for a day,
Yeah.
but I wonder how people who live there get by.
Why?
Because all the shops are like them things that you go in, and it's like a little pebble with a pebble stuck on the top, and it says Hastings on it. So every shop does that. If you want bread and milk,
You're done for.
it's murder.
Yeah.
There must be a supermarket.
I didn't see any. Seriously, it's all novelty things like that.
Yeah.
And then when I got back into London,
Think of their houses.
Yeah.
Just covered in pebbles and like seashells and stuff.
Oh, not rock for tea again.
but the funny thing is, right, it's the first time I've sort of noticed somewhere like that. When you go, what do you do if you just want some Brillo pads or whatever? I'm walking in London.
Never concerned me that. Never needed Brillo pads in my life.
No, but you know what I mean. The sort of things that
Yeah.
it's a bit tricky to find, but in London, you've got the coverage.
Yeah.
Now the weird thing is, I was walking home from had a drink the other night, right?
Yeah.
Walking down the road, and there was a shop that just sold in London, chess pieces
Yeah. Is that the one on Great Portland Street?
round the corner from it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I think that's
Well,
mental.
I remember being in Brighton once and seeing a shop, and all it sold was the foam you put inside cushions.
Yeah, there's one of those up Pentonville Road.
But I don't know who opens a shop like that.
I know where these
I'll tell
things
you,
are.
There's a hole in the market.
Yeah. What was that shop we walked past yesterday? And it was like something really, really... Oh, chef uniform shop.
Yeah.
It's Dundee Street. And I'll tell you what, I opened a chef uniform. Mainly sort of check trousers and white hats. But there must be a lot of chefs around. I'm eating all the time. Someone's making the food.
Yeah.
The funny thing is, on the chess shop, right, they mustn't have been doing that well. And someone must, the the bosses must have been sat there going, not really working this, is it?
Yeah,
right?
people only buy one chess set
Yeah.
in their life.
Yes.
Right. Yeah, but the funny thing is, on the door, it's just said, come in and browse. Which I thought was odd.
Did
right?
you?
No, it's shut. Right? but the funny thing is, right, so you can imagine them sat there going, oh, not doing that well. And it's changed, they've actually changed the name of the shop now.
Yeah.
And now it says chess and bridge.
Right, they've had to expand.
So they've opened it up a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But still,
What do you buy for bridge, if not
I don't
pack
know.
of cards?
I don't know.
I don't know, I don't play bridge, but I don't know, I don't think you need a lot of stuff for bridge, except a pack of cards.
I remember going
A table.
when I was on
3 friends.
on holiday once in Devon, past a shop. I don't know if you ever need it. need an antique marionette, let me know. 'Cause I know where there's a shop.
Okay, yeah.
Antique marionettes.
I know.
Again, you only need one, unless
But I
you're a
want to know
collector.
who goes into this business. Well, son, what are you doing? Going to university to do law, father. Well, there's a factory there that makes the little plastic bits that goes on the end of chair legs. Do you want to take it over from me? We're not ready, no. It's all set up.
Yeah.
It's all set up. Oh, God. All right, Dad, but just for a couple of years.
Someone's got to make them. Someone's got
know.
to make the little plastic bits that go on the end of chairs.
Well, if you make them, call us on the 123497734.
Weird though, innit? Weird.
Weird, though, isn't it?
Right, listen, songs of phrase answers next. We'll go out of the
Well,
way.
I'll tell you what, play it once more, so that people have got a chance to actually enter.
Hang on,
If you
keep
can't be
talking,
bothered.
keep talking, keep talking.
Oh, I can't be
Should be ready, Carl. This is
Right.
terrible.
Here we go.
From...
Right.
That is the well-known phrase, Daddy's never gonna stop robbing telephone box. The well-known phrase.
And we're looking for, the songs, I think. I don't care.
Alright, well,
Libertines on XFM 104.9. I'm Ricky Gervais. With me, Steve Merchant. Over there is Carl Cayman Pilkers. I'd be great for Heart.
You really
wouldn't
would.
I?
You really
Virgin, I'd probably. But it was Radio 2 being preferred. Oh,
great-
all one.
a great
Late night
station.
one would be good.
All good stations, all professional stations.
Yeah. 4
All
weeks to
have an
go.
audience, all have
4
an
weeks to go. Before we may give up or we may come back. Who knows? It's all up to Carl Cayman Pilkoids.
Can I just extend an apology? I was a little bit crass earlier, and I made some unsavoury remarks about Radio 1 DJ Chris Moyles. I'd like to apologise.
funny man Chris Moyles.
I would like to apologise for that, but it gave me an idea. You, the listeners, who do you hate? Email in ricky.gervais@xfm.co.uk. I just think that we've never really used XFM as a kind of, well, as a research tool, really, and it seems to me that we can get great
And
opportunity
it's
here.
this, we don't sort of do this thing, we don't go on there and sort of like slag off other people and people in the public eye. Well, we pick on targets that
that can't fight back.
helpless, the elderly, you know, people suffering in some way, that really, and particularly we don't want to pick on people like Chris Moyles, who's got a big platform, much bigger
We
platform.
want people who can't answer back.
Yeah, who
That's
do you
us,
hate?
That's us. Who do you hate? And I don't want people you went to school with or your
Do you know what
boss.
I hate, Steve?
Who do you hate, Rick?
Right, my top three, just in the top three, would be Hitler,
Yeah.
Mussolini, and General Pinochet.
Really?
No, probably Moylesy, Harry Potter, and Jamie Oliver.
Nice.
But what are your top three?
Now, don't make them comical, don't make them... These are the people that wind you up. When you see them on TV, if you hear them on the radio, if you see them in a magazine, they just... Oh, they make your kind of blood boil.
Might be us.
It could be us.
Well,
I'm
you know,
expecting that.
we know that. We're not stupid.
We could take it as read that it's us.
Yeah,
And then if
in
anyone
fact,
other
let's
than us...
assume it's us, so we want other people.
Yeah, but we just want... I want to drop the top 5 people...
And I don't want to hear things like Tony Blair and Jeffrey Archer and fascism.
No.
Just people who make your flesh crawl for no fault of their own.
Well,
really?
Well, sometimes their own, because
Yeah,
they're
yeah.
talentless or fat.
But that'd be good.
But-
That'd be a good long-term poll over the next 4 weeks, and then in 4 weeks' time we go. Well, we're off. We're in the top 10.
Exactly.
But here are the other 9.
So I think it's just genuinely going to be quite interesting. So ricky.gervais@xfm.co.uk.
Maybe who you hate and why. It's like giving a reason in the diary room.
Yeah, that
You
might be
you
quite
can't just nominate someone. You've got to say and why.
Sure. But if you
You
can't
know.
be bothered to write and why, just nominate.
Yeah.
Because that means just we've got a lot of reading to do if they start doing that, Rick.
Yeah.
Keep it down to one sentence.
Yeah. You know, so the reason to be so and so because they can't walk, something like that.
Sure.
Maybe.
Now then, we were playing earlier songs of phrase. We have had. I mean, the answers I could literally count on the fingers of one hand. Now the right answers even less so. But do you want to play it once more, Carl?
Oh God.
From.
there was 7 songs in there.
Right.
Read them out. Go on. What are they?
It was
Oh, have you got it written down?
I can remember them. Daddy Cool, Right.
Boney M.
Boney M.
Yeah.
Never Gonna
Gives
was
You
from
Up,
Rick,
Rick
Astley.
Astley.
Yeah. Never
Write them down.
Stop, Sam Brown.
Right.
Robin was Miss Robinson by Simon and Garfunkel.
Mrs. Robinson.
Yeah. Hang on a minute. That's not Robin.
Oh.
From Russia with Love, Matt Monro.
Right.
Telephone hanging on the telephone, Blondie.
Right.
And then Box, Living in a Box.
by living in a box.
Well, listen, no,
Brilliant.
I don't think anyone got them all right.
No.
If you did get them all right, I'm sorry, but I gave up checking the emails a long, long time ago. So I'm going to give it to Michelle Flower because she got a few of them right. So well done.
She got a lot right there, actually. Well done.
Good, well done.
She got 5 out of 7, so well done, Michelle. And you get all those great prizes. Incidentally, we mentioned that Stargate SG-1, I'm sure you look forward to that, Michelle. That features Richard Dean Anderson. Had a lot of emails, people saying, is that the same Richard Dean Anderson, or Dickie Anders, that used to email in and said he loved the show?
What's happened to Dickie
No,
Anders?
I've not heard from Dickie for ages. So, Dickie, if you're listening, Richard Anderson, if anyone knows Richard Anderson, what's happened to him?
Well, I think we know his top 3.
Yeah, exactly. So, Dickie Anders, if you're still out there, get in touch with
Anders! Little saucer, oi?
Yeah. So,
Hey. Anders!
I just was going to say, you know, you're talking about people who annoy you and that.
Yeah.
Right? Not many sort of celebrities annoy me because I think, well, some people like them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But things that affect me, like the builders. Right?
You're a philosopher, go on.
The builders annoy me, right?
Sure.
Yeah.
And you could say that's a bit of stereotyping, but all the people who I've met who have been builders have always annoyed me, right? So that's
Because they've been working on your house in your space. I mean, that's like all the builders that have been round your flat making a noise when you're trying to get some sleep have annoyed you.
Well, that.
Brilliant.
But also someone in the office in the week, right, who works here. He's a good lad, named Lenny, right? He's called Lenny. He proposed to his missus using XFM. So,
What,
he popped in Zoe's show, right? His girlfriend sat out there, she didn't know what was going on, she was asked to come in.
Even she wasn't listening, she was out there. she probably had a Walkman on or something.
Yeah.
But just that
She was
thing,
just to Jono. He had to fax Jono with the request.
Dear Jono, I'm broadcasting from Mexico at the moment.
Oh, my girlfriend's listening to you.
Oh, God. London's hot one, a 6.2. Come on.
right, educating Ricky.
This is my favourite bit now.
You're just going to tease us, aren't you, with 3 headlines, if you
And I'll choose one, then we got the other 2 as well.
Yeah, that's
Go
the
on.
way it works, and at the end of it, you learn some stuff. Like I say, I'm struggling a bit with knowledge.
Yeah.
At last he confesses.
Yeah. Go on.
So the 3 headlines for you to pick from, we've got, first one, we'll have a big fire tomorrow.
I got a feeling there's some vegetables involved.
Yeah, go on.
Maybe. Second one, he's a bit of a nuisance.
Okay.
Alright?
Right.
And, third one, I'll bacon in the morning if you're sick of having me here.
Oh, that one.
I'll bacon in the morning if you're sick of having me.
Right, I'm having that one.
That's brilliant.
Right, well, it's a saying. Do you know, cold shoulder? Giving someone the cold shoulder?
Yeah.
Alright, if you have someone round at your house, and, you know, you try to get rid of them, and they're hanging around and stuff, and you're like, oh, I wish they'd go, I'm tired and that. Well, years ago,
When? Literally years ago. Well, ages ago.
sort of,
Olden times.
I think it said medieval times.
Yonks ago then, yonks ago.
Yeah. Medieval, yeah.
We're going back quite a bit on this
Well,
one.
you know when you find out these books, why don't you just pop down when it was?
Just make a note.
I don't think it says all the time, it just sort of says, you know, a few years back.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't.
Well,
Never.
alright, I'll make an effort next week.
Okay.
Right? So, it's annoying that, because my girlfriend said to me, just make a note at the time and they'll stop having a go at you.
Yeah.
Yeah?
And I kind of thought, oh, it's alright.
Didn't listen.
I don't think it matters anyway in this one. We're looking at the saying, right? So
Yeah.
it's giving someone a cold shoulder, right? And what it is, right? Ages ago, there wasn't enough houses for people.
Alright.
Because there wasn't much money being made. You know, there weren't big businesses. People weren't earning good money like they are now. So there wasn't as many houses, right? So what you ended up getting is like, you know, the rich people having a nice place to live,
Oh.
and the poor people were like wandering about, you know, looking for places to live and that. And what they ended up doing is, they had like, people would go around to the mate's house and say, look, I haven't got anywhere to live. It's a bit cold. Can you let me stay? Right? So they'd go, oh, alright, then you can stay a couple of days. But they ended up staying for like weeks.
Yeah.
Right? So, to sort of get rid of them, what they'd end up doing, they'd be making the dinner, and they'd be making a lovely dinner, like a bit of meat, nice warm meat, and nice veg, gravy. And,
This
you know,
happened every time, did it?
works.
This is where the saying came
Is this
from.
what happened, Rick?
This is
what happened.
happened every time.
It was in that vague book.
the book of vague sayings and stuff.
Right, so they'd be making a nice meal, but what they did, they looked after all the family, but the person who won't go home, they just give them some, like, sort of a cut-off of cold meat.
Right.
So they'd say, you're giving them the cold shoulder, meaning...
Right. Okay, that's rubbish. Okay, absolute...
Carl, why would that necessarily work?
Yeah. Why do they always, in every situation when you want to get rid of a lodger, well, still feed him every day, but make the meat lukewarm. So
They always leave then.
Yeah.
Oh, this food's lukewarm. I'm gonna become homeless
and they
again,
go,
wandering the
hold on,
streets.
are you giving me the cold shoulder? Yes. Do you want me to leave? Yes, just say leaving. No, I like to do it cryptically. That way, in years to come, someone will have a little saying about it.
Well, anyway, that was our bacon in the morning.
Yeah.
If you've had enough of meat, we'll leave that.
Well,
Bacon in the morning! Oh, bacon in the morning if you've had enough of me!
So,
come back. What are the others? Just tease us again with the others. We'll come back to those.
You've got, he's a bit of a nuisance, and we'll have a big fire tomorrow.
Nice, looking forward to that.
Look at the way when I went to school, there was 2 kids with them big heads. Now,
You don't
never see them.
Sure.
Yeah, but no one else saw them anyway, Carl. It was only you that saw 2 of them, not related, and wouldn't hang around with each other, because you think they thought it would be too obvious. Webbed fingers and big heads. That's amazing.
And there was a kid with a pigeon chest, so...
Oh yeah, and the lady with the head like a bag of spuds.
Let's not
yeah,
go through
don't
these
wanna
again.
go
It just
through that.
raises too many questions that can't be answered.
Yeah.
Right then, so, we've got, we'll have a big fire tomorrow.
Yeah, go on.
Is that the one you want?
Let's
Yeah.
go for it.
Right, I think this was like round the 1700s.
Bluffing.
And
Just bluffing.
Who was the king then?
Dunno.
Go on.
But it's about the word bonfire, right?
Bonfire.
Bonfire.
Yeah.
Do you know where it comes from?
No, go on.
No.
Right, what happened is it's got nothing to do with Guy Fawkes and that, which is what I thought when I saw it. It's got nothing to do with that. But ages ago, at 1700s,
Yeah.
right, they didn't have enough houses, like I mentioned.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if that happens, you get people living on the streets.
Uh-huh.
You get
Sure.
diseases, people aren't cleaning properly.
Mm.
So you get more deaths.
Mm-hmm.
Alright?
Yeah.
So, think about it. You've got all these dead bodies lying around. They're running out of space. Because there's, like, I don't know why they're running out of space. But,
Okay.
they haven't got much, I don't know why, really. I was gonna say they should have just buried them, but there's probably more land back then than now. Thinking about it.
He doesn't need anyone else in the room to have a dialogue.
conversation with himself.
Yeah, we could leave and we'd come back and you go, I've sorted it. Yeah,
But
yeah.
anyway, for some reason,
They presumably, if it's going to be they burnt them, it's presumably to do that it also kills the parasite or whatever's carrying the parasite on them, as opposed to burying them and not killing the disease.
well, yeah. So there you go, you've worked it out. They piled them up, and they turned it into a celebration, because there was a lot of fed up people at that time.
Is this to be the word bon, meaning good?
No, I'll tell you in a minute.
Go on.
So, you've got all these people who are, like, going around, and like, oh, you know, so-and-so died the other day, and, you know, nearly every week someone they knew was dying. So you can imagine, like, just constant, like, being depressed. So, and they've got all these bodies lying everywhere. It's like, oh, God, what are we gonna do? So they said, we're all too fed up at the moment. Said, let's make this a better world.
This was 1701 by the time they got together.
Yeah.
So they said, what we need to do is have a big party. So they said, yeah,
Good thinking.
see what you're thinking. So they go, right, well, we'll put all the bodies
Yeah.
in a big pile, and they're all diseased and that. So
Yeah.
they set fire to the bodies,
Yeah.
and they said, let's have this as a celebration to remember them by, and you know, we'll have a drink and that, and have a chat. We'll have this big fire going, and it came from bone fire.
Ah.
Right.
So
Bone
it was
fire.
it was all the bones. Bonfire is bone fire.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
So that's how it came about.
Yeah, in the 1700s.
Yeah.
That was.
No, probably. I reckon it was 1600.
Probably earlier.
I reckon it was the plague. I reckon it came from.
But interesting stuff. Interesting
Yeah. So
stuff.
that's
Did you celebrate Bonfire Night? Is that a big celebration for you? Do you like the fireworks? I'm sick of fireworks. I just think they're rubbish.
Yeah, I'm not impressed.
I've never been impressed by fireworks. Even as a kid, you know, you'd have to go to like sort of community kind of gatherings with a bonfire and fireworks, and some local vicar or whatever would come out and.
But I also think the adults think the kids love it, and if they just got together and said, "Should we go this year?" They'd all go, "No."
Yeah,
let's not
absolutely.
Go. Let's not go this year.
What would be better is if the vicar had wheeled out like a massive rocket, climbed in, gone last one to the moon is a bender, and then fired himself off. Now that, I'd pay to see. That's a fireworks display I'd like to see. As it is, it's just rubbish.
Dear.
Yeah.
That's
Is that your feeling,
excellent.
Carl?
Yeah, I'm not keen.
No.
Sorry, what clue was that?
We'll have a big fire tomorrow.
Bone marrow. Bone marrow. Genius.
We've had a few emails. Anyone got it right, Carl? Anyone got it?
Ricky, educating Ricky. That's the final one. We got to get that out of the way.
We got to get Rockbusters as well, though.
We can do that at the end. We can
Go on then.
But we've only got 5 minutes left.
Come on, just do educating Ricky.
Right. God. The last one that we haven't done is he's a bit of a nuisance.
Go on then.
Again, not really that interesting.
Thanks.
No, like again, I spoke to you in the week, and I had much better things. Like when I tell you about Brian Blessed climbing Everest, and for some reason it made him it played havoc with his belly, and he followed through, and he had to clean up.
Shut himself.
Yeah, using ice and snow.
Why are you telling me that Brian Blessed? In what way is telling me that Brian Blessed shit himself once in any way educational?
Because I was saying how he was climbing Everest, right?
Right.
I give it to him. He's an actor and that, but he gave that a go.
Yeah.
Right. He played.
What's the point of that? You'd say, wouldn't you?
You'd say, God, he's you know.
So he's alright. Me doing a boxing match for no reason is rubbish, but him climbing Everest and shitting himself.
Yeah, he did that.
Is commendable.
Right, and he's only gonna like go and do it again. He's gonna climb it again.
Yeah, but he might not shit himself this time.
Yeah, but what's the point in going? Nothing's changed up there.
Yeah, good point. Yeah,
Once you've been.
Well, it has. They've probably cleared it up by now.